Hello students, this is Miss Casey, and today I'm going to teach you how to use the Adobe Fresco Draw and Paint app tool. This is a great app for doing costume design, which we will be doing next week for our own costume designs for Disney's Beauty and the Beast. But before we jump into that, we need to make sure you feel comfortable using this app by helping you learn how to access different tools, manage layers, and begin your sketch for design and theater. Think of today as a rehearsal for your design work. Use this time to make mistakes, learn, and get used to the software. As costume designers, you are creating real-world theater artifacts, not just drawings. Here are some examples of costume renderings being brought to life. These are my sketches and costumes from Are Your Dead Dreadlord by Alexis Shear, performed at Angelo State University Theater. Notice how much attention I put into every little detail, even something as small as the symbol for the girls' school uniform being carefully well designed to represent the sacrificial lamb, which represents the girls in the play. In next week's project, you'll be putting your design and thinking skills to the test by researching, sketching, revising, and refining your costume design, just like professional costume designers do every day on Broadway. This is where you'll practice using digital tools to create original work, solving design problems like actor mobility, storytelling, and budget, and communicating your ideas visually before you even present them in your final presentation. Today is about learning how to manage and effectively use the Adobe Fresco tool, so next week you can focus fully on your creativity and storytelling. Now, on your tablets, you should already have the Adobe app downloaded. If you don't see it, go to your app store and look up Adobe Fresco. It should pop up on your screen on the top right-hand side. Go ahead and download and open when able. Once you launch Adobe Fresco, the first thing you should see is the home page. Now, in order to save your work, you have to make sure you are logged into your account. If you don't have an account already, you should make one with your email. To sign in, you go up to the sign in button on the upper right hand side and type in your email and password. So continue with email. Type in your email address and your password. Once you are logged in, the app will save your work and it can be accessed from any device so long as you remember your login information. To start a new project, click Create New. For this project, I want you to go to Print and select Poster. This will be the best option for designing and exporting your costume rendering. Once you click that, it will open a blank canvas where you begin designing. Now that your canvas is open, you might notice that there are tools all over the screen. And that's okay, we're going to talk through them together. Around your screen, you should see three main areas. At the top is your title bar, to the left is your toolbar, and then to the right is your taskbar. Although Adobe has some amazing tools to be used, we're only going to focus on the ones we'll be using in your project next week. First, let's take a look at the top at the left-hand side at the toolbar. You'll see the paintbrush icon. This opens your pixel brushes. Next is your eraser. Very important whenever you have a mistake that you need to erase. Then when you drop back down, you'll see a little area down here. If you do not see it, you need to make sure that you have your paintbrushes open or your eraser open. This controls the size of your brush and or eraser, the smoothness of it, as well as other details. Next, go to the picture icon. This will help you import reference images. Then, below that, you will find the eyedrop icon. This will allow you to pick any color you want from the reference images. Below that is the circle icon. This allows you to change the colors of which you draw with. Now, remember, color is optional for next week's project, but you will research colors and explain your choices, so this tool can be useful. Now, let's move to the top of the screen, the title bar. On the far left is the home button. To go home, you simply push the button and it'll automatically save. To go back to your draft, you click on the draft and it'll send you back. Next to that is your file name. Here is where you will label your draft. You should name your file with your character's name and your initials. So, like this, Lumiere_BC. Next to that is your zoom, which allows you to change the font size, like so. And you can also do it with your fingers. Next is the undo and redo buttons, as well as some other buttons that would help you to ask questions, share, and most importantly, the box with the little arrow coming out, export. Now, let's move to the right side, your taskbar. At the top is your layers icon. Layers are extremely important because they let you keep rough sketches separate from final lines. This helps you keep your work organized and protects parts of your design while editing. Below that is your layers properties, which allows you to control the opacity of the layer. Then further down, you have this weird little eyeball. This little eyeball controls whether or not you can see a layer while you're drawing. So push the eyeball. It's gone. It's back. It's gone. It's back. You get the idea. For this tutorial, I will sketch a costume design for Lumiere, demonstrating how Adobe Fresco can be used to help students build an idea and explore the designing process. When choosing a brush, there are a lot of choices, and that can feel overwhelming. But for this project, I suggest starting with sketching and the pencil brush for your rough design. Now I'm going to quickly import a reference. I will be using a picture of Lumiere from the stage production of Disney's Beauty and the Beast. I want to make sure that it's big enough for me to be able to use as a reference, which you can see me doing here and pushing done once I'm ready. Then I'm going to lower the opacity so that way I can still see the image and still be able to sketch over it. Now, as you can see, I am not copying the costume designer's design, but using it as a reference for my rough sketch to build the silhouette of the character. Next, I'm going to change my color, lower the opacity level of my skeleton, and add a new layer to begin drawing the actual body of Lumiere. In case you missed it, to add a new layer, I pushed the little icon with the box and plus to add a new layer. Right now, I'm going to use the sketching brush to draw Lumiere's arms, candle hands, and base shape. The rough sketch is where you would be generating your first ideas and getting them onto the canvas. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be there. Alright, let's move on to our final sketch. What we need to do is add a new layer. I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but there's this little box with a plus inside it that allows you to add a new layer. We're going to click that button and add a new layer for our final draft. Before you begin drawing your final sketch, you want to go to your rough layer and lower its opacity. Once done, go to the skeleton layer and hide it with the eyeball. Before you continue to drawing your final draft, change your brush to basic and taper. These are the ones that I recommend for this project. Now I will begin cleaning up my lines and finalizing my design. For your costume project next week, you will have 30 minutes to design your costume, so it should hopefully look much better than my 10-minute design here. Personally, I love Lumiere. He's such a charming and funny character. Now, if you make a mistake, don't panic. We can just clean it up with our eraser tool and try again, as you can see I do here. And voila! Once you finish your final design, go to your rough sketch layer and hide it. Then go up to the export button, click Quick Export, and save it on your device. Make sure you save it somewhere you will easily be able to access it later. Now, let's check to see if it's actually there. And it is! Don't let Adobe Fresco intimidate you. It's easier once you get used to it, and it helps you build real costume design and creative problem-solving skills. Next week, you'll design a story-driven costume that works for actors and budget. If you get stuck, try experimenting. Have fun! I can't wait to see your work next week. I'll see you then. Goodbye!